Welcome and honor a beloved freedom fighter, Hollis Watkins, and also to pay honor to our brother, Frank Joyce. He's going to receive this Lifetime Achievement Award for his work as a social justice advocate. Many of us present in the audience this evening have enjoyed working with Frank on any number of human rights campaigns over the years. Frank and I are currently colleagues on the National Council of Elders, the Michigan Coalition of Human Rights, and our locally produced cultural magazine, Riverwise. How many of you know about Riverwise? Okay. So glad you like it. We enjoy doing it. Frank became a political activist as a young man in the 1960s in the Northern Student Movement. He was later a founder of the organization People Against Racism, and a great deal of his life's work and his writings have been concentrated in his efforts to resist racism in many areas in American life. His work as an anti-war activist has been equally long-standing and committed, from the days of the anti-Vietnam War movement to present-day peace campaigns. He continues to be a leader of the Vietnam Peace Commemoration Committee. In 2015, he published his book, The People Make the Peace, Lessons from the Vietnam Anti-War Movement. And Frank just told me today, just shared a very special bit of information. He's just learned that that book has been published, has been translated and published, translated in Vietnamese and published in Vietnam. Until a few years ago when he retired, Frank was engaged in a stellar career as a writer and media person, both as the news director at WDET-FM, National Public Radio, and as director of communications for the United Auto Workers. He has won national recognition and many awards for his brilliant analysis of critical political issues. He served as a board member of the Michigan Coalition for Human Rights for almost 40 years. As his comrades here in the local activist community, we could not be happier to commend Frank for his achievements and for his dedication to protecting human rights. And we celebrate tonight his being awarded the Bishop Coleman H. McGee Champion for Justice Award. So I'd like to invite
Joyce.
Carrie is going to present the award.
Okay.
So it's my honor and pleasure
It's a real award.
to give you my dad's award, Champion Justice Award. And it says, "We thank Frank Joyce for his abiding dedication to the Michigan Coalition for Human Rights as a board member and his steadfast social activism opposing racism, militarism, and materialism."
All right. Oh my. What a treat. Well, first, of course, I want to thank Carrie and Deneb and all of the sisters and brothers from MCHR, past, present, and future, who are here this evening. And of course, I want to thank my wife, Marina Barnett, without whom I wouldn't get anything done. And that on top of just receiving this award at all, that some of my colleagues from the National Council of Elders are here in town for a meeting and visiting Detroit, and that adds so much special meaning to this evening, and I want to pay tribute to them. Elders, stand up. Not just old people, elders. Thank you. I never come here to this building in this sacred space not the lobby, not the stage, not anywhere, without appreciating Charles Wright and the contribution that he has made to this community, and Charles Farrell for fulfilling that mission that Charles Wright had. This is a gem that we all treasure and respect, yes, and use and need, and we thank Charles in particular for that. Little did I know that day in the summer of 1960 when I joined that picket line at the Crystal Pool, the Crystal Swimming Pool at the corner of 8 Mile Road in Greenfield, that I was beginning the work of a lifetime. Even less could I have known that for decades, MCHR would become such a durable and important part of that work. Some of you may remember a small example that I treasure. When I was the news director at WDET back in the 1980s, I invented a weekly commentary feature. There were labor leaders and a variety of people who spoke, got 5 minutes on a rotating basis on Friday mornings, as I remember it. Why did I invent that weekly commentary feature? I think the statute of limitations has probably expired. So it's safe to say that the real reason was so that Bishop H. Coleman McGee could have 5 minutes of airtime, and that the late, great Reverend Hugh C. White could help Coleman fashion words of moral wisdom that Detroit desperately needed to hear then and desperately needs to hear now. As I stand here this evening, humbled and proud to receive this award, I think in 3 minutes it boils down to this. The rotten system, the cursed idea that white men are somehow superior not only to other humans, but to rivers and coral reefs and forests and elephants and termites and water and fire is coming to an end. The repeal of the toxic doctrine of Genesis is up for a vote. God did not give men dominion over women, over or all other life forms. That whole strange idea is just plain wrong. Fortunately, Homo sapiens are not the only eligible voters in this referendum. In fact, if we don't get this right, we won't be voters at all. The planet, humans need the planet. The planet does not need humans. The planet will surely survive. Humans may not. But we can. It won't be easy, but it surely can be done. How? Our differences, our silos, our intersections, if you will, must be put aside. It is the white way of thinking that must go. Root and branch. All of it. White people are not superior. Period. The evidence is in. As I was thinking about this, and I'm writing a book about how to end white supremacy, it occurred to me that there's probably not a more radical idea that a person can express in the United States of America in 2018 than what I just said. Let me say it again. White people are not superior. The evidence is in. White people are, to be sure, very good at myth-making. When the history of the world is written some 100 years from now, if there is 100 years from now and people around to write the history, what will be studied will be the capacity of whites to make myths and invent fairy tales and persuade people to believe them. That is what white supremacy is, after all. A pervasive, invasive species of a myth. It's a bad invention. It's like Agent Orange, or plastic shopping bags, or the so-called Electoral College. We can get rid of it. It's doing more harm. It never did any good. And the world around us is already making another, truer, better story. A story of peace instead of war. A story of kindness rather than endless violence, large and small. The world is making already a narrative of love and harmony and proportion. The new world is not about stuff. It is a world that, as Richard Powers puts it, needs to stop, just plain stop, squandering 1 billion years of planetary evolution in favor of bling. It is up to us whether we choose to become a part of this recovering world. It is our decision. We have choices. That is the justice that cries out to us now. Thank you.